Hi friends! Welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Caitlin and I like to film eyeshadow palette ranking and review videos. I tend to focus on indie eyeshadow palettes, but I do occasionally use mainstream eyeshadow palettes. So if you like eyeshadow palettes, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button because I post 2 videos every single week. And for those of you that are not new here, I'm trying out a new intro and my face is happy that you're seeing it again. And I almost made it all the way through without stumbling over my words, but it's all right. That was my first try and we're just going with it. We're going with it. I have a very exciting video for today. I was so kindly gifted the new Royal Europe palette from Nomad Cosmetics, and no obligation to post this review, post this video, be positive, nothing. They just wanted to send me the palette and yeah, said to be honest if I end up reviewing it. So I will be testing out this palette and giving you my honest thoughts and opinion. Now, let me be very clear. This is going to be a first impressions video. I will be doing 2, possibly 3 looks. You'll know based on the title. I don't know at this moment in time, but 2, possibly 3 looks. There's no way I'm getting this up before the palette launches, so I'm not going to go into launch details or any of that, but if you were waiting for my video, here it is to decide if you want this palette. I'm going to focus mainly on inspiring different kinds of looks, either with the palette or if you want to shop your stash, shop your stash. You know what I mean? That was a lot of talking. So if you want to see me test out the Nomad Cosmetics palette, share my first impressions, thoughts. If I do 3 looks, I might be able to give multiple thoughts because I'll have used it over multiple days. But anyways, doesn't matter. Go ahead and keep on watching. I always like to show packaging, especially when I feel like a brand puts thought into their packaging. So I don't know, I'm sure I've mentioned this in my other Nomad videos, but they always wrap their palettes in this nice like brown paper packaging. Obviously it's inside of like a packaging thing, but it's in this like cushiony brown paper packaging, and then it has the sticker with the stamp on it. So I think that's nice. And then they always include usually it's a postcard. This one I thought was funny because it's like you're being invited to the inauguration of the most recent launch. So I just thought that was cute. This is based in Europe. It's funny because I keep wanting to say haunted Europe, but this is Royal Europe. It's a different kind of Europe. But I can't get that out of my head. But anyways, the 10 mattes in opulent jewel tones and 5 dazzling new multi-chromes. Yeah, super cool. So that is that. If you have never seen my channel, never heard of Nomad Cosmetics, I find that hard to believe, but there might be some of you. But anyways, Nomad is a brand that bases all of their palettes on destinations, which I think is super fun. So this is the outer carton. I've already taken the palette out. So this is the outer carton. This is what it looks like. I might keep the palette, and I'll explain why, but I might keep the palette in this packaging. I'll tell you why in a second. Anyways, this is what the back, it shows the different colors. It is cruelty-free and vegan, and it has a 12-month open container. So do with that what you want. It is, the palette is made in China, but distributed by Nomad out of Dallas, Texas. And then, yeah, okay, I'm out of breath. All right. Here's the actual palette. So it has this beautiful laser cut detail. And the reason I maybe will keep this one in the box is because I feel like the laser cut is going to get dinged, like sliding in and out of how I store my palettes. So I might keep this one in the carton just to keep it safe. But yeah, that's what the back looks like. Let's open the inside. I'm sure you've all already seen it by now, but that's okay. I still will show you just in case you haven't. It is a gorgeous jewel tone color story, and I am so freaking excited. So, full transparency, I have purchased. I can't speak. I'm so sorry. Full transparency, I have watched a few videos. I did not watch like the very end where people gave their final thoughts on the palette, or like, you know, their summary of their thoughts on the palette. I just watched 2. Oh no. Speaking of it getting dinged, I just dinged it and messed up some of the laser cut myself. Well, okay. I'm all over the place today. Okay, what I was gonna say. I have watched a few videos. I've watched my friend Brittany Ray's video. She did what are they called? Eye swatches? She did eye swatches, so if you want to see that, you should check out her channel. I also watched my friend Alicia from Budget Beauty's video, and she did 3 looks with this palette. She also compared this palette to the Simply Posh Genuine Gems palette. So if you have that one, you should check out her video. I won't spoil it for you because I think you should go watch her video because she did a good job at comparing the two. And watched my friend Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. I watched her video and she did amazing looks with it. And the reason I want to, I'm moving stuff around on my desk. The reason I want to mention all the videos I've watched is if you see any of my looks that you're like, that looks kind of similar to one of their looks, I'm sorry. I felt like they all did enough looks and they were all different enough that I didn't think any of their looks would be standing out in my brain, but they could be. And then also I just wanted full transparency. So let's just do the look. I'm starting off with my About Face Shadow Fix Primer. This is my preferred eyeshadow base. For those of you that are not new here, sorry if this is redundant, but the first time I used this eyeshadow base, the first version of it, it was amazing. It was the best eyeshadow primer I've ever used. This is my second, because I went through that whole bottle. This is my or tube, I should say. This is my second one. I feel like I experienced more creasing issues with this one than I did in the past. So I don't know if it's the primer. I don't know if it's me. So I don't know if I should keep saying this is my preferred eyeshadow base, but this is the one I'm using. So we're here. All of my makeup brushes are dirty. I only stayed on I shouldn't say all of them. 90% of them are dirty. I fell off of my game of trying to keep them clean, so whatever. I want to do a mostly matte look. I know there's 5 multi-chromes and I'm like, let me hit you with an all matte look. But I do want to make sure one look is an all matte look because I think, I don't know, there's 10 mattes in this palette and I feel like a lot of people are focusing on the multi-chromes and I want to let you know, are the mattes worth it? Especially because I think some of us might have similar multi-chromes already in our collection. So if you're going to buy this palette, I want to make sure the other 10 shades are worth your while. So I will do an all matte look. That's not going to be today's look. And then I'll do one look that's really dramatic and one look that's a little bit more low key, I think. The really dramatic look or the low key look might be the all matte looks. We'll just do it. Let's just do it. You're probably like, okay, I already have my outfit planned for today. It's not what I'm wearing right now. I'm going to wear this teal and lavender thing. So I kind of want to go for the teals here. Ooh, you know what I want to do? My favorite thing to do with Nomad's palettes is a shadow wing liner situation where I put the shimmer on top. Typically their shimmers are kind of a wet, sparkly look. So they kind of sit really nicely on top of a shadow wing. And I don't know if these will do the same, so I want to try that out. So let's do that. So I'm going to start with King's Room. It's the darkest teal. Oh, and I didn't say, I'm just using a BH Cosmetics, eyeliner, eyebrow brush, whatever you want to call it. It's an angled liner brush. It's probably the technical term. Since this is a liner, I don't know if you can actually see anything. Let me switch to the handheld mirror because I feel like I can hold that a little bit better and not block my face. Okay, I mean, honestly, that's stunning by itself. Done! Let me just put some mascara on the end. Oh, gosh. Okay, I don't know what I ate today and why I have so much energy. Also, since this is a Nomad video, I feel like it's appropriate to give you an update on the status of my Nomad palette battle. I have 1 palette left to use, and I have a lot of new makeup coming in, so we might be a little bit delayed on it, but I am going to try and wrap that up ASAP and try and get that video up as soon as I can. But obviously I'm going to prioritize doing videos on the new stuff because I know that's kind of time sensitive. This is a Morphe M562, and I'm going to go into the shade Hall of Mirrors, which I guess is this one, if I didn't point that out very well. There is quite a bit of kick up in the pan, but with the shadow liner, there's a little bit of fallout, but not a ton. Usually I feel like I get more fallout when I do shadow wings, but I am tapping my brush off. I don't know that there's a huge variation in these two shades. There's the tones are different, but I mean, they are in the same row, so I know that they're intended to be a similar depth. But on the eye, I'm not sure if I'm seeing a major difference between the two shades. a noticeable difference, if you will. But I will admit that they are different tones for sure. One's more green, one's more blue. And I think they are intentionally in different rows because they are the same depth. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, now I'm going to take this Real Techniques in Victoria Lynn collab brush. This is the 042. We are going to go in with Palace of Versailles. Ooh, that one was very powdery in the pan. Tap that off. So I'm getting a lot of kick up in the pan. Maybe if I wasn't tapping my brush, I'd be seeing a lot of fallout, but I'm really not seeing a ton of fallout as of right now. And I'm blending that into my crease. And it's okay that like on the lid, it doesn't look totally perfect because we're gonna slap one of these multi-chromes over it. Maybe multiple multi-chromes, who knows? Multi-chromes. I've made the joke before that if I film after work, it's like I'm just on another level of kind of hyper. This is not after work. This is 4 p.m. on a Sunday. This is obviously prime time for me. All right, so I want to go in with one of these multi-chromes. I'm going to go in without Fix Plus first. We're just going to go in on a brush dry, see what it looks like. I typically do use Fix Plus, so I will probably go over it with the brush with Fix Plus, but let's just use it without it just to show for the purposes of the review, you know? We're going to take Bleu de France, and I think I pronounced that correctly, and I'm going to take this flat brush. This is a BH Cosmetics. It's just a flat eyeshadow brush. Oh my gosh, that looks like straight up purple in the pan, but on the lid, it is so teal. This does have kind of a dark base to it, so as far as like giving me that, I don't know, the like sparkly, just kind of like toppery feel. And I kind of stopped this like, I mean, part of me wants to just like leave that as a single shadow, but I kind of stopped it like at an angle like right there. I'm not noticing like any texture being enhanced on the lid, but it's also not like the most sparkly shimmer ever, especially not from Nomad. But I'm also not using Fix Plus, so let's try it with some Fix Plus and see if that brings the power. That definitely foils it quite a bit more. Yeah, it looks, it's more impactful with the Fix Plus for sure. I've completely lost the imprint on that shade. Glad I got lots of pictures and video of it before, so I can reminisce of what this palette looked like before I put my fingers and brush into it. So now I'm going to flip to the other side of the brush, and I'm going to go into St. Edward's Crown. And I'm filling it in at that angle that's basically on the other side of this brush. And since this is a deeper shimmer, I am being mindful of like being precise with how I'm placing it in my crease and sort of creating that winged shape with it. Let me see if that, are we seeing anything? Am I showing anything? No, probably not. Take this BH Cosmetics number 2 brush. There's no product on this one, but I feel like the black base of these multi-chromes is kind of blending a little wonky with that other brush. Ooh, I think I'm just gonna have to add more of Palace of Versailles on over the top. I do have fallout from applying the multi-chromes, but I did apply them dry without any Fix Plus first, so that's why that was happening. I don't know if I would have had that had I not done it, because obviously I haven't tried that yet, so just wanted to throw that out there. Let me go in with another brush. This is a Alter Ego number 3 brush, and really just soften these edges. There's no shadow on this brush. I feel like blues can get really out of control really fast. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with my St. Edward's Crown shade, but with Fix Plus on it. This shade reminds me so much of the shade Trance from the Danessa Myricks palette. I'll be really curious to see if I did a swatch comparison, if they are similar, but that is so pretty. Okay, that's super pretty. Obviously, I've made a giant mess on my face, so I'm going to clean this up, do my base makeup, come back to do the lower lash line and the inner corner. So 1 second for you. Yeah, here we are. If you're wondering why my eyebrows are red, it's because I have a wig planned, but I haven't put it on yet. So I want to try Royal Orb as my inner corner highlight, but I feel like it might be kind of dark. So I also kind of want to give it like a lighter base. I don't know. Let's just try it. I'm taking a, oh gosh, my nose. Cosmic Brushes CV5 brush. And yeah, that's dark. It's pretty, but it's dark. All these multi-chromes are kind of like black-based multi-chromes, so I don't think you're going to get like a solid inner corner shade if you are as pale as I am. Maybe if you have a deeper skin tone, it will work a little bit better for you, but... Okay, so what I'm going to do is clean off that brush actually, and I used the Scooby-Doo Glam Light highlighter on my face. I used the purpley pink shade. I'm going to take this little green shade, this little green shade right here, same brush, I wiped it off, and I'm just going to put a little bit over that. Ooh! I mean, I probably could have gotten away with it as an inner corner highlight. It was a little dark for my personal taste, but now that's like really bright. There we go. Okay, so lower lash line. I kind of wanna mix things up a little bit and go for like purple on the lower lash line. I know, usually I'm a monochromatic girl. Well, like I match my lower lash line to my top lash line, but we're gonna go in with Buckingham Palace. I'm using that same eyeliner angled brush thing from earlier. I'm gonna go purple into the blue. I just wanted to add a little bit of purple. I don't know. I thought that would be fun. But I'm not going to totally keep this all purple on the bottom. I'm going to take that same Morphe shade we used earlier with Hall of Mirrors, and I'm going to go into that shade again. This is a very smoky look. So this will be the dramatic look for sure. Okay, and then I'm going to go into Palace of Versailles. I'm going to take a slightly different brush than I used earlier because I felt like all those got dirty blending into the black base multichrome, so they're like a little bit darker than I would prefer. But there we go. Okay. Really feeling the grunge here. This is very dramatic. Okay. I will say, who was it? I think their YouTube channel is Angels and Broomsticks. I did watch their Nomad video too. I forgot to mention that earlier. But it's like a mom-daughter combo. And the daughter did a very like neutral look with this palette. So I'm not going to do like a neutral look. I just want to see if I can make this, not this particular look, but make this palette be slightly less dramatic. I'm going to go in with my Alter Ego brush I used earlier that doesn't have any shadow on it. And I just want to tone that down a little bit. And I will say that blue shade, I think it's Palace of Versailles. I did notice when I was cleaning up earlier that there is some fallout, and it does appear that the shadow kind of kicks up a little bit, but okay. Personally, like fallout, kick up, all that stuff doesn't really bother me because I can usually brush it away. All right, this is going to be the look pretty much. I'm going to go put my wig on, my outfit on, all that jazz. And I'll be right back to show you the finished look and then also move on to the other looks that we have planned. So 1 second. Okay, my phone is like 2 seconds away from dying and I film on my phone. So we got to wrap this up really fast. But here is the finished look. I added 2 little gems from the Harry's. It's like the Harry's Fruit Party. It's a set that I got as part of Manic Gems' like music series. So I got the Harry Styles one. But anyways, here's the finished look. I really like it. The multi-chromes are dark. So I don't have, same with the mattes. So I'm not super confident we'll be able to do like a really soft look. I think we could do a neutral look. Maybe we'll see how tomorrow goes. But I really like this look. I think the multi-chromes are nice. They're very... The shift is noticeable, but they're not super sparkly, so I don't know how to explain that. I think if you have more textured lids, you'll probably really like these because I don't feel like they're enhancing texture. They just make my lid look smooth and like there's a shift in color on the lid. But we will see how tomorrow goes. I'm going to try and have an all matte look if possible. We'll see. I don't know. I think all the mattes might be too dark, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. Good morning. We are going to attempt, and I'm gonna say I lied yesterday. It's not gonna be an all matte look. I don't think these mattes are light enough to do an all matte look. I'm gonna try and start out with an all matte look and then maybe work on some of the multi-chromes. I'm sorry, I lied, I know. Okay, so the shade I'm gonna start with is Schönbrunn Palace, I think. And I'm gonna take a brush where I can hopefully like get like a light dusting of it. So this is the Alter Ego #1 brush. I'm going to very lightly tap into that shade. Ugh, even that is like a little dark. Okay, so lightly tapped in, got too much, tapped it off. And now we're just going to gently swipe that on the lid. And I'm being very gentle so that I don't get too much pigment, because I want this to be a light look if I can swing it. So that's more the goal, is like a lighter look versus having a ton of depth, because I just feel like that will speak to the variety of what you can do with the palette. And I'm just working that into the crease to blend it out. Okay, it's still, for my skin tone, it's still a little dark, but I think it's okay. I don't know if I said I'm using my About Face Shadow Fix Primer again. Okay, and then we're gonna take this shade, which is Pena Palace? Pena? I don't know. Palace? I'm not sure. Okay. And this is a 054 Precision Point blending brush from Real Techniques. I'm trying to keep this an all matte, mostly neutral look. I know the shade's red, but it's kind of like a... No, it's just red. It's not like a true red, though, is I guess what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's more berry toned matte. You know, I said I was keeping this look light, but I guess I meant like what a lot of people would define as wearable. But I feel like everything is wearable. Okay, that's how we're looking so far. I don't know if I would define it as neutral, but maybe this is as neutral as I get. Next, we're going to go into Great Hall, which is the deeper burgundy shade. I'm going to take this Blend Bunny B4 brush. Oh, you know what? That shade doesn't have nearly as much kick up as the other shades do. And it's basically the same color as this last shade, but just slightly deeper. So those two blend into each other very nicely. And then you get really nice depth with that. I do like how that's looking. Okay, I built up Schönbrunn Palace in the crease a little bit, just because I really went super light with that shade, and now I don't feel like it matches as much. All right, I feel like that's about as all matte of a look as you can get. Like I said, that Schönbrunn Palace is like your lightest matte, and I just don't think it's, I mean, maybe I could, okay, hold on. Like, that's a little bit more of a complete look by bringing this shade across as a liner more. But even that, it's just not, it just doesn't go light enough for me to feel like this is totally a complete all matte look. I feel like I'd need to pull in another shade from another palette to like lighten up the lid or something like that. So we are going to add the multi-chromes. I'm going to take this ME9 brush from Made by Mitchell, and I'm going to go into the shade Imperial Crown, which is like the antique gold shade that I think flips like maybe a little green. I'm not spraying it. I just want to lightly dust that on so that I can get the sparkle, the multi-chrome sparkle, but it's not going to be like, you can kind of still see the shift, but it's not, I don't know, it's not like sprayed down, super metallic, wet looking. That's not what we'd be doing. And that's why I picked this brush, which is a little bit of a fluffier flat brush. Times have I done like this exact color story on my eyes? Too many. Okay, I'm gonna now go into Royal Treasure. Oh, and then I'll have tried all the multi-chromes in this video, even though I told you guys I wasn't gonna do that because everybody else did that. Now I see why. Okay, so Royal Treasure, I'm just running along where we have kind of those berry mattes. And this sort of ended up being a similar eye shape, even though I didn't mean for it to be, but yeah, I mean, that's basically the look. I'm going to go off camera to do my base. I am going to do the lower lash line and inner corner off camera because I'm probably going to use my face highlight for my inner corner, and I'm going to use the same mattes that I used up top on bottom, but I will come back, show you the finished look, and also give my thoughts on this palette. Here is the finished look. I used the Solar Sailor highlight from Kaleidos on my face, and then also put that on the inner corner here's what the look looks like. Now, I did walk around my house because I fed my dogs and was just I put my hair up, but I saw the shifts of well, particularly the shade Royal Treasure on my lid as I walked around. And remember, I just dusted these on. I didn't go in with Fix Plus. I didn't go in with a like glitter primer. Like I didn't go in with anything that would make that shift super noticeable. And I walked around my house and saw it all over the place. So I think the multi-chromes are really nice. I do like how this look turned out. Did it turn out how I intended it, which was an all matte, somewhat neutral look? No, it's the total opposite. It is pretty dramatic. I probably wouldn't classify it as neutral. I think I could have done an all neutral like look if I had stuck to just this row. I think it could have stayed pretty neutral, but I didn't. So here we are. Focus on these mattes. I think the mattes are nice. I think if you're very fair like me, they're a little dark. You can definitely do a look with them. They do blend out. So I don't think I like need other shades, but you're not going to get like a light soft look with this palette. Like it's going to be dramatic no matter what you do. So I think the mattes are really pretty. They're really nice jewel tone shades. They blend out really nicely. I think it's a gorgeous color story. I'm happy with the multi-chromes. Like how they've performed with the two looks that I've done so far. I will continue to play with this. As I've mentioned in past videos, I do a monthly ranking where I rank every single palette that I've used in the month. So as I continue to use palettes, you'll see kind of more fully fleshed out, developed thoughts. I'm also planning to, every 10 palettes that I purchase this year, do like this in the style of Katie Marie, do a palette palooza where I show the looks that I did with the palette and give like really in-depth reviews of them there. So take this as a first impressions, but I am super happy with this, and I wish this lighting didn't like mess up what these multi-chromes look like, because they are gorgeous. Truly, when I walked through my house, I was like, oh, they look so pretty. So anyways, let me know what you think of the two looks, which look is your favorite, in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time.